Hey everyone, welcome back. Today is going to be a pretty simple video. Just going to show you all how to do acrylic nails. I'm going to start with using this dehydrator, and then we're going to add the bonder. So this is the primer from Mia Secret that I love to use. Also the Kiara Sky acrylic powder is what we're going to be using today to build up the nail. And it's the cover acrylic. So, and this is just kind of like a, basic nude pinkish color. I love it. And this is kind of what it looks like. A little bit different in person, but that's what it looks like basically. You're gonna need a dappen dish to put the monomer, which is this here. I use the Young Nails liquid monomer. One of my favorites. You can get a bottle like this, about 6 ounces, for like, I don't know, 15 bucks or so. And then we're gonna be using nail forms today. So I'm gonna start and put the monomer in the dappen dish. It's a little bit of a bluish color. Again, I'm gonna start with the dehydrator on the nail. This is to remove any oil or just to make sure that the nail is dry and doesn't have anything that would cause the nail to lift. So I'm just going over the nail with this. You can actually see in my previous video how I prepped the nail. There's a lot more that goes into this aside from, adding the acrylic right on there. So you can check out my previous video if you're interested in that. If you already know how to do that, then this would be the next step. So I'm gonna use the Mia Secret primer, and I'm kind of just adding like a thin layer to the nail. So I'm adding that layer on, making sure not to touch the skin as much as possible. Again, my nail is already prepped. Cuticle is already prepped, everything like that. So it's good to go. So we're just gonna add that thin layer. I say thin and it's really not, but that's just me. But it is a really good primer. You really don't need much. So just my preference. So then I'm going in with this number 8 Kolinsky acrylic brush. I have literally used this so much that it broke in half. I'm not rough with it. It's been used for like 3 years. So, time for a new one. That'll be in my next video. But anyways, this is the nail form. And when I use this, I just kind of like bend it to shape, to fit the shape of a natural nail, that curve. And these forms do have numbers on them, so you can see if you're doing this on yourself or a client or whatever, you can see how long you want the nail to be. So if you're doing it on a client, you can just ask them, use this for reference, how long they want it to be. For this video, I'm just doing them at, I believe, a 3. So not too long, just something, something that's visible and still cute. So I'm putting on that nail form. You pinch the end like this. It's like a sticker. And you just, you also pinch it, to fit your finger. So it does stick to your finger too, to make sure it doesn't fall off when you're adding all this stuff on your nail. I love using forms. I don't like, tips very much, but if you like the tips, you can definitely use them, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes it happen. All right, so I'm gonna dip my brush in the monomer and pick up an acrylic bead, kind of at an angle if you can see there. And the bead should be about this size. So I'm gonna start with forming the tip of the nail. Again, I'm just doing a size 3 here. So I put down that bead and I kind of start shaping it as I'm adding it on. So you shape it while you add it on because it saves time, helps you when you're doing filing and shaping at the end. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. So it looks easy here with that bead that I did, but trust me, it's a little, some people are more talented than others. It doesn't Not to say that I'm more talented than anyone. I'm definitely not. And you will see that in just about a minute or so. But, you know, I still can make it happen. So anyways, that first bead, I just got pretty lucky. But anyways, you want to clean your brush as you go. And I'm wiping it on the paper towel there off camera. But you want to clean it as you go because this acrylic is self-drying. If you get acrylic in your brush, it's really hard to get it out. So it's best to just clean it as you go, which again takes a little bit of practice. It took me a long time to even get this good at doing acrylic nails. I've been doing it pretty much since the pandemic started. And yeah, I can tell you, at least for me, it's been quite the journey. There's my second bead. A lot of people, especially in nail school, they'll teach you to do the 3-bead method. I don't really do that. I just do as many beads as it takes. But I'm getting better, you know, I'm getting to that point where I can start doing just the 3. But it does take, you know, a couple more than that for me right now. So I just keep doing that until I see that the nail is formed the way that I'd like it to be. And for the cuticle, you want to be very careful with that area because it's so sensitive. You don't want the acrylic like it's running here. It shouldn't be that runny. You know, I was able to fix it luckily on time. You know, I was able to kind of take it out of the, you know, the corners. But your bead should be just a little bit drier than that. So you can also just practice beads before you practice on yourself or anyone else. You can just practice how to perfect your bead. And for this one, I got close enough to the cuticle where I could still form it without getting too close to the cuticle or flooding it. You don't want to flood it. You really just don't want the acrylic to actually touch your skin if possible. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of a smaller bead and, you know, get closer to the cuticle as much as I possibly can. This bead was pretty wet, so I did flood the cuticle a little bit. This should just be a video on what not to do. But anyways, you know, if it's that liquidy though, you can pretty much save it. You know, you don't want to use the brush to touch your skin if you can help it. Right here, luckily I was able to save the cuticle. I didn't, you know, I was able to kind of take that away. Again, you know, I'm not the most talented right now at this, but I can still get the job done. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. It's just getting the job done as great as I can. And it kind of worked, you know, but I just wanted to show you guys the basics and the fundamentals of building your acrylic extension. When you see right here, I'm looking at the nail at all angles so I can see if it's you know, if it's going to have a strong build. You don't want it to be too thin because then it can break easily. So I'm adding another bead just to add some strength there. And I will leave this in regular speed. I didn't modify any of the speed on this video or anything like that because I want you guys to see you know, how exactly it works in real time. Usually doing my own nails takes me longer than doing other people's because I'm always doing something with my hands, you know, cleaning dishes or whatever. You know, when you have an appointment with someone, you can schedule that time to not do anything else. But picking up another bead here so that I can, you know, keep building that strength and just, I don't want the nail to be too thin, basically. Again, the shaping as I was adding the acrylic really did help. So I won't have to do too much filing, you know, after it's dry completely. I think I mentioned this earlier, this acrylic is self-drying, so that's another reason why I clean the brush as I go. And another reason why I, you know, shape the nail as I go, because when you're doing this, filing time can really take up so much of your time. It can really be the downfall of your appointment. So, you know, it just helps. And helps to have a good monomer, a good acrylic, a good brush. All of that stuff really can take down your time. But I repeated that process until it dried completely and until I was happy with the shape. Don't mind my other nail, I never filed it completely. I didn't have time. But anyways, I'm gonna remove the form. You just pinch it at the bottom and it pops right off. This is what the nail looks like afterwards, and I'm gonna file now. And I'm using this Model 1's nail file with 180/130 grit. It's very rough, so that's another reason why I try to not get too close to the cuticle, because I don't want to hurt myself. You don't want to hurt your clients, obviously, or yourself. So, I'm careful with that, and I'm just filing, creating the shape. And I'm sure you guys are, self-aware of this part. It's pretty simple. You file to the shape that you'd like, make it look pretty. It's very easy. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing here. So once I'm done with this part, I'm gonna use my e-file, and I got this bit from a mystery box from Young Nails. I'm sure they have it on their website. I love this bit because it is very rough and it cuts down the product really easily, so you don't take a lot of time just filing and filing and filing. And underneath my hand there is my dust collector, which is a lifesaver. It's the Melody Susie dust collector. I did a review on that one if you want to check it out on my channel. But this is a great lifesaver here to have an e-file. It saves a lot of time and effort, saves your wrist from arthritis. Just very helpful overall. And this one is round at the top, so even if you do have to get close to the skin like I'm doing here, it won't cut you. So another reason why I love it. And I'm sorry, I don't have the pricing off the top of my head, but I can try to get that for you guys if you're interested in that. And yeah, I'm pretty much just going over that, making sure the surface of the nail is smooth and even. And I'm using a smaller bit now, and this one I believe I also got from Young Nails, that mystery box. It was on sale. And I'm going a little closer to the cuticle. This one is flat at the top, so you do want to be a little more careful with this one, but it is great for prepping the nail before you add the acrylic on, and it's great for once you have the acrylic on the nail. It's very good for getting close to the cuticle, making sure that cuticle area looks flush and perfect as much as possible. Not going to be perfect all the time, but I got as close as I could. So I'm just repeating this as I go. You can look at the nail to see if there's anything that is, out of the ordinary. As far as the shape, the reason I'm using this one here, getting close to the cuticle, is because I don't want to have anything getting caught in my hair. I'm sure you guys have had that feeling where you're washing your hair in the shower or whatever it is, and you can feel your hair getting caught in the nail. Yeah, so that's why we don't want to skip this step. Very important. I'm gonna dust it off with this little nail brush, and that's pretty much how it looks at the end. And please excuse my cut. I had a little, dead skin there, and I pulled it, and that was a big mistake. So don't do that. This should just be a video on what not to do. But anyways, I'm using the Poochie's Super Shine Top Coat to finish it off. And I forgot to mention this. You can use a buffer block. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them pretty much anywhere, even Walmart or Sally Beauty. The buffer blocks are really good to create a smoother surface of the nail. So I didn't really do that here. I just wanted to show you guys the fundamentals, but I am adding that top coat, and all of the shaping and the filing just makes this part and any kind of nail art just so much more easy. So you just add everything on, it's so smooth. And then I'm putting that in the LED lamp for about 60 seconds. And once it's fully cured, I'm going to use this cuticle oil. And of course, y'all know what this is for the cuticle. Gotta make sure it's nice and healthy and smooth and soft and pretty and all of that jazz. So this one I got from Amazon. It comes with a dropper, which is super helpful for me because I'm a messy person, so as you can tell. So I just add that cuticle oil there, kind of let it branch out on its own, but then you want to, like, smooth it over your skin. And that's pretty much it. This is the nail. So if you guys like this video, please leave a comment, hit the like, hit the subscribe, show some love. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and thanks. I'll see you guys next time.